Day 1. I awoke to find myself in a strange house. I didn't know who I was or what I was doing here. The wood smelled old and rotten, and as I began to explore the premises, it became clear to me that somebody lived here, or at least they did. I found the body of an old man. I didn't know who he was, but something about him seemed familiar. I decided to leave, and as I walked down the hallway, I tried to turn my radio on. Nothing. Only static filled the airwaves. As I exited and stepped outside, something felt off. I could hear birds and insects, but I couldn't hear a single person in this town. I walked down to the saloon and noticed more bodies outside. They were still warm. Up on the hill, something called to me. I wasn't sure what it was, but I had to find out. It was a graveyard. I could hear faint whispering, but nobody else was around. I walked towards an open grave, the source of the hill's beckoning. There sat a gun, with one bullet next to it. I wasn't sure whose grave it was meant to be, and I didn't want to find out. I hit the road outside Good Springs to search for any sign of human life. Day 5. I found a town that was burned to the ground. Crucifixes greeting me as I entered. Severed heads stuck on pikes signaled danger, but I was desperate to find another living soul in this wasteland. I wondered who committed these atrocities. An uneasy feeling set over me as my thoughts wandered. Who was capable of this? I couldn't help but feel helpless in my directionless travels. I had no other choice. I had to keep moving. Day 12. Another settlement, another ghost town. Dead Brahmins scattered across the remnants of an old motel. You'd think the dinosaur statue was real and caused all this. The lights were on, but nobody was home. It dawned on me that I had been traveling for 2 weeks, but I haven't felt hungry or thirsty this whole time. Only tired. Something was off about this desert. I wasn't sure what it was. I had to keep traveling to the big city that lit up the horizon at night. Surely, somebody, anybody, would be there. Right? Day 20. After another week of traveling, I finally came to the outer gates of New Vegas. 3 dead bodies greeted me. They were all still warm, just like every other body I've found so far. Upon entering through the gate, I heard what sounded like people in the distance. My mind must have been playing tricks on me. I couldn't sense anybody around. Was I going crazy? Loneliness is starting to get to me, and I can't take it anymore. I walked through a wooden gate to what appeared to have been a medical center. The care here couldn't have been that great. Everybody was dead. Oh well, what did I really expect? I traveled further into the city. The voices felt close, but sounded so distant. Maybe it was the wailing of the dam. No, it was just a trick. I can't help it. I was hoping I wasn't alone in this big city. Upon entering the strip, big casinos with flashing lights stood tall. And I finally started to lose hope. Here, where the lights have never gone out, there wasn't anybody around. The mountains. I remember seeing mountains with trees off to the northwest on my way here. Maybe that's where the final bastion of survival was. Day 33. It took me a while to get up the mountain. I had been diligently looking for traces of life, to no avail. Snow decorated the top of the hills, yet I did not feel cold. I hadn't felt anything in a long time. Dead creatures lay at the gate, but one of their faces caught my eye. It looked familiar, but I didn't know who or what it was. It's as if I had known this thing in another life. I really wish I was living that life right now. It had to be better than this one. Day 50. I had aimlessly been wandering around this barren wasteland when I came across the giant fortress. All the bodies there were dressed up in uniforms. It felt like an evil place, but I would take anything at this point. As I walked to the tent that stood at the top, a woman's body stopped me dead in my tracks. Could it be? Do I know this woman? I recognized her face, her cowboy hat. I felt sorrow. I felt responsible. All this death that has surrounded me, and I didn't know the cause of it. But it reminded me of a place I've been before. I'm not sure what day it is anymore. I came back to the graveyard. The faint whispering is still here. The gun, the bullet, the open grave. It made me realize that every grave, every body in this godforsaken place was accounted for. Every one of them, except for mine. There's only one way out of here, isn't there? I'm tired. In my life, all I ever wanted was peace and quiet. And now, all I have is silence.